For that, let me sort out the cameras real quick. Internet killed itself. Not much we can do about that. It's been a bit of a crazy day for internet for all of us, actually. So we're going to just pop the cameras back into place and continue from where we left off. I think you're right. I think Bartleby's magic missile may have gotten to us there, but should be
we accidentally killed the cameraman and it all went wrong.
It all went wrong. All right, so let's pick up from where we left off. Whose turn was it just there?
It was me.
Zero,
I'd
right.
just done nine damage to the servant-looking fellow.
Nice. 9 damage to that guy. That guy. All
That guy.
All right.
My favourite guy.
How do you want to kill that guy?
I get to kill him straight up.
Straight up.
Oh, I want to behead that man.
That was a little intense.
Too late.
I want to behead that man.
And there you go. That escalated quickly.
Yeah, that really
I
did.
want to swing my sword through. And I just want to cut all that, see all that tissue, all that lovely neck fibre and muscle, all to be gone.
Oh, it's
all of it.
It's all gone. It's all over the place. Yeah, you chop off his head, and it goes boom, 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 boom down the staircase, covering everywhere with.
And then I want to turn
entrails.
to look at the snake and just give him that look. It's like,
Yeah, Snake looks.
next.
Yeah, you're next. Yeah, he looks angry. He looks angry with you. All right, it's the top of round 2, and it is Revery's turn. You have just got Wakanga in snake form at the moment in front of you.
Okay. So I'm still, he's still 25 feet away?
He is still 25 feet away.
All right, I'll do my short bow again. 23.
Hey, 23 is going to be a hit.
Yeah, but nobody's within 5 feet of him, right?
Correct.
I am.
Yeah, Fulton is, yeah.
Fulton ran out.
Oh boy, get the sneak attack.
Woohoo!
That's such a good day. Wow. What?
Synergy.
And
The mad plays.
13.
13.
Yeah,
damage.
13 damage.
All right. Oh, damn. Let's dead on. How do you want to kill this guy?
Oh yay! Oh, this is so exciting. Okay, this time since he has polymorph, now I can aim straight for the eye. I want it to go through his eye, through his brain, and maybe like possibly pin him to the wall that he's there, like while he's like dangling there and his little snake body is wriggling. That's what I want.
Nice. I like it. So, yeah, you shoot this guy, and just like you say, his body just falls down on the ground and begins to wriggle around in his death throes as he kind of, the muscles still seem to be spasming out. Dazira has dispatched his companion, leaving you guys in the clear with just these two bodies before you, of these two beings. Sindra Sylvain is still alive and well, and you're at the steps to the Merchant Prince Wakanga Ratamu's mansion. Sindra turns to the group of you very quickly and says, "Quick, let's get inside. There might be more of them."
Yes. Are you hurt? Can I assist? I understand there might not be much I can do in your current conditions.
Yeah, she shakes her head and begins to move inside as quickly as possible.
I follow.
Me
I
too.
follow.
I actually am kind of making sure that Bert is okay and that he's caught up.
But Bert's still standing there, just drenched in his own blood, like, I feel like I was meant to move. I saw him coming, but I didn't move. I'll learn next time. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Let's get inside, then we can.
As we go in, can I have a look around to see if there's anyone in that's like watching us or following
Yeah,
us?
roll me a quick perception check. Yeah, Bert is definitely the most injured out of the group, I think, at this point.
That is a 21.
21. Yeah,
21.
you have a quick search around the room, glancing to see if there's anybody here. You do notice that inside there are two very nervous-looking servants, both of them male, and appear to be kind of hiding in the corner of the room, away from the sounds of battle and fighting, which they must have witnessed outside. You've entered into a hallway area. Again, this place is lavishly decorated. There is, most of it's made out of marble. There are pieces of, like huge urns made out of gold. There's artifacts from all over here. Most of them just look to be decorative, but clearly no expense was left to make this look like an incredible mansion. However, These servants are the only two that you see in here. The doors could be closed from this point, and it looks like they could be barred as well if you wanted to do that. There are several other chambers that lead off to what looks like a kitchen area, and to the right, what looks to be a dining room area. You'd imagine a place this large sprawls on for quite a while, but the entrance hallway itself is quite impressive.
Fulton will push the door shut, sort of looking at Syndra to make sure that's the correct thing to do, not wanting to lock us in just in case.
Yeah.
Being unfamiliar, I don't know whether in or out's better. Syndra, should we bar the door, or could there be enemies inside as well?
She nods and says,
It could be that he has more of them within here. We should search the house.
I'll push one door shut just to sort of... Basically, what I want to do is make it that these doors creak or anything as they close, these big, heavy doors.
oh yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to close them but not bar them, with the idea that hopefully we'd be able to hear something if they are getting pulled or pushed open as someone comes in behind us. But also so that we don't have to deal with like getting rid of bars and stuff if we've got to make a hasty exit.
Okay, cool. Syndra nods, looks at Bird and says,
You're wounded.
He nods. It's robes are ruined. I'm also bleeding quite badly, and reaches in, pulls out some like food and stuff that's like stained in blood, and just like, what has this ruined everything? And I don't have miles. What do I do?
Reverie goes over to him and like tries to calm him down. This is not really her area of expertise, but she's trying to like, everything is going to be, you're fine. Everything is fine. No, just don't look down at your body. Fulton,
Yeah.
he's prone to passing out. Can you maybe,
Yeah. Fulton comes over as Bartleby is getting a little bit more and more panicked.
Oh.
This is far too dangerous of a place for any of us to be wounded. And I will cast Cure Wounds at level 1 on him.
okay.
Oh damn.
If it will roll. Come on.
I believe.
You're teasing me.
You get healed!
Will I? Will I?
Oh, there we go. That's why.
Nice.
There we
Wow, 12
Wow,
healing.
12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overheal.
He looks down like
Grab.
astounded, like pats himself down. He's just like, that's amazing. Now fix my robes.
we'll have to wash them later. Now, come on.
What do you mean later? I'm filthy.
Well, I guess we don't want to do it now, just in case you get stabbed again.
Mate,
I'm just kidding. We never get stabbed again.
maybe they have a place where they do laundry in here. We should search the place.
Excellent.
Yes.
You definitely.
Searching.
I mean,
Great idea.
but immediately you'd recognize that there are two servants in here that probably know where the laundry is done.
I immediately take off my robes, like without hesitation. He takes off his robes and he's down to orange Hawaiian shorts and a big sort of bushy, and he sort of keeps his hat on and waddles over to one of the servants and just says, I need you to clean these. And also, are you bad people?
They look up in terror at you, but do take the clothing that is offered
Yes.
to them.
Yes, you understand.
They hold it with a very confused face, looking between one another, like, should we run now? Why is he undressing in front of us? What is this man, very small man, getting naked for? What is about to happen? We're going now.
He shoos them, and he's absolutely convinced they've gone to wash his robes.
Yeah, they will very quickly leave thereafter with your bloody robes. You're not sure where they've gone, but they're definitely gone.
Laundromat.
Probably.
Fulton's kind of doing the, I'm not, what, are you sure? And just kind of goes quiet.
Just let it happen.
Reverie will
Just
go up to Syndra at this point, and she'll be like, do you have any idea why he would want to attack you? I thought that you were an ally and we were coming here to get information.
She nods and says,
Clearly he was not as who I thought he was. That was nothing natural there. That was a snake person in front of us, one of the UNT. We must look into this matter.
We are getting more familiar with the UNT.
It seems as though they wish to stop us at all times. They tried to kill you in the streets and now me as well. Whatever they want, well, clearly they don't want us here in Port Nyanzaru searching around Chult. Maybe they have something to do with this necromantic artifact as well.
Well, then I think that means that we're doing something right. Let's search.
I agree. Let's have a search around and meet back here in a few moments' time.
She strolls out
With-
confidently.
With the, excuse me, but seeing as we've now had two Yonti potentially take the form of people that we know, should we not stay together so we don't have this confusion when we regather of knowing who may or may not be who they seem?
She nods.
Let's stick together.
I believe it to be best. You know the way. You've been here before.
Yeah, she immediately takes a stalk around the mansion proper. You guys will find a bathhouse. Pretty immediately, you'll find a kitchen area. You'll find these lavish hallways that lead up into upper balcony areas where there are bedrooms for guest rooms. There are two wings of the house. And you only find servants around here. In total, you'll run into 6 servants, not including the 2 that Bartleby saw run away. But there does not appear to be anyone that wishes to kill you within the house after a very thorough search of the premises. There's also the garden areas as well. But it doesn't seem like anyone around here is a snake person or crazy person who's looking to murder you. Sindra seems happy with the results of this. If you guys want to look into any particular rooms, you could feel free to.
Would I know much about, what was his name, Wakanga? Would I...
Yeah, roll me a history check. See what by reputation you might know about Wakanga.
That's a 10.
You know that he's a famous merchant prince. You know, he's famous because he's rich and influential. You don't know too much about what else his reputation is or things that he may have been up to in the news, I suppose. But certainly the decor of his house would go alongside that this guy clearly had a lot of wealth. And pretty much a lot of the items that you could pilfer around here would probably be sold for quite a high value.
Oh my.
Fulton would be interested probably in the garden area, just to sort of see. He wants to see if there's anything happening to the foliage and the plants here this death curse is just affecting humans, or if it's affecting other things as well. He just at this point doesn't know as much as I know about it, so he'd be interested to see that.
Yeah, you have a look around the garden at some of the plant life, and in one area, it looks as though the plants have kind of withered and died, but despite magic being used to try and sort of reinvigorate the life within the plants, it looks like it's impossible to. And if you'd use any kind of, cleric magic, or it looks like druid magic has been involved here as well, it looks like they just can't get in touch with the life essence of the plants. And no, it's a small corner, the garden is very well tended, but you can spot the telltale signs that even in this very nice garden, that there are plants that have been attempted to be kind of brought back to life, but no luck there at all. So that's definitely a worrying note for life in general in the world, that it can't be brought back. After that, Syndra meets you back in one of the main chambers, which has a table to sit on and have food on as well. She has spoken with some of the servants, and judging by the reaction that the servants have to her, they're terrified. And it seems as though at this point, her undead visage is enough to scare these guys into doing whatever it is she tells them to. You may also believe that she's probably paid them off a fair amount as well. So Syndra sits down with you and says,
Well, it seems as though the premises are clear, but we need to be on guard at all times. I do not think Port Nyanzaru is safe for us.
Then perhaps we move on.
She nods at that and says,
Is that just me?
"What's that?" Yeah, I think so. Total score. We're all sounding good here. Syndra says,
I agree with that. We must depart soon, or at least you must. Whilst you're all here, we're sitting ducks for more of those creatures to come and get us. I've had an ask around.
"There are screams in the background? Are there just people dying in the background that I don't know about?" I mean, if so, I don't take any responsibility for people being killed in the background. That's just that's just something else entirely.
Yeah.
So she says,
The longer we stay here, the more dangerous it becomes. So,
Where are we meant to go after this? I thought we were supposed to get some sort of message from the prince, but that wasn't him, and we don't know where he is.
you can look into his files that he has around here. Look into his private room and to see what notes he's brought up on the area. Someone nearby must know something. And we know that the artifact itself, this soulmonger, is somewhere in the jungles of Chult. Certainly it is not within Port Nyanzaru. So, an expedition must be mounted.
Right. Well, I need to find pants, and then files, and then on to the soulmonger. Yes.
We need to get you clothed, yes.
Yes, absolutely. And find. Could you find those servants who have my robes? I need them back. And also, I have a question for you. It's just regarding a personal matter. Syndra,
What is it?
my servant appears to be missing.
Yes? That Miles one.
Yes. Oh, right. You wouldn't happen to know where he was, would you? See, we met an individual earlier, and he said he ran into him, and he had a knife, and there was blood, and I am actually surprisingly worried about his well-being.
That is shocking.
I have not seen your Miles.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. He's just a servant. It's not important to me or anything like that. That'd be weird. Yes. So I'm gonna go find some pants, and if you see him or my pants, or I'm gonna go now. And he just sort of wanders off into a wardrobe to find clothing that will fit a 2-foot man.
Okay. She looks towards Zazira and says,
You look like you might know a bit about these surroundings.
Yes, I know some things.
Well, if you are to journey into the interior of Chult, then there are a few ways you can go about it. You could take a canoe, several canoes, up the river,
DM finds name.
Soshenstar, which leads directly into the interior southwards. Alternatively, you could go out the bay, taking a larger ship and around. This might be more dangerous. You run the risk of pirates, and it is said that there is a large creature within the bay. Both hold dangers, of course, but first of all, let us have a look into Wakanga's notes.
And she goes up to his private study to have a search around. Anyone that wants to join her can feel free.
I'll go.
Yeah, I'm going.
I'd say let's keep the party together.
Yeah.
I love that mimic underwear. It's a thing now. It's a thing. Bartleby, you do find the 2 servants who have been furiously cleaning your clothes. It's very difficult to get blood out of them when, it's like crimson blood that's just painted all over your robes from a beheading of a guy rolling past Indiana Jones freestyle, and also the slashing cut all across your robes. There's like a huge hole in it. They're desperately trying to sew up and clean, but they don't have any magic, so they can't just prestidigitation the blood off from it. So they're furiously cleansing it in like the bathroom, and they look up nervously as you walk in.
He walks in, sort of looks around at them, sort of gestures for his robes, and as he sort of takes them, they sort of hand it to him with the stain away from him. And the second his hands touch it, his prestidigitation cleans it. And then he turns it around and he's like, remarkable, amazing work, you're fantastic. Remind me not to fire any of you. And he sort of slips into his now fully open down the front robes and like does up like the loose stitching, just like pulls the stitching like laces.
They look very nice.
Do you you oh good. Yes, I like your enthusiasm. You wouldn't happen to know anything? Nope. Okay. he walks up.
They laugh nervously and thumbs up you. They finger guns as you walk away. All right. So those of you having a search around, there's roll me an investigation check as you're searching Wakanga's study.
Got a 16.
Nice.
19.
Nice. Okay. So you guys are going to come across a couple of bits. Wakanga was doing some research into the Soulmonger. Whether or not the Wakanga that you met was really him or someone in disguise, you don't really know. But nonetheless, you know that this person was looking into it for a time. Seems as though it's convinced that it comes from somewhere deep within the interior of Cholt. He has also been following the tracks of the Order of the Gauntlet, who have been present within the interior of Cholt and set up a base camp called Camp Righteous, with just to the south of Port Nyanzaru. They are famed undead killers and hunters, and Wakanga believed that they would have the most information on the Soulmonger, and also believed that it was their sole task to seek out the Soulmonger and destroy it. They came in a band of over 100 strong, so Camp Righteous should be fairly well defended. Desira, as you kind of cross-reference this with maps and Syndra's own knowledge, you know that the camp itself would be about 5 days by canoe down River Soshenstar, or it would probably take a little bit less by ship. Take you a couple of days to go around Cholt, the island itself, and then to cross across the mountains would probably take you another day or two. So both avenues to get there, if you were to go there, would take a fair amount of time and would be laced with their own elements of danger as well. So Syndra says, as Bartleby rejoins the group,
It looks as though this is our best lead.
It would appear so, but the travel there is going to be its own challenge, it seems as well.
Yes. It would be fastest to go by boat, however, dangerous.
She nods and says,
Also, the buccaneers and merchants around here can't always be trusted, as well we know. If we only trust one another, then perhaps canoe is the safest route.
I'm willing to risk that.
I believe keeping to ourselves and attempting to be less conspicuous might be our best course. As we have seen, someone does not want us alive here.
she nods. Go ahead.
Does anybody know how to canoe? Because I've never canoed before, not even once.
No, that's not really part of our training. I'm not really familiar with the water.
I have done so once or twice, or 3 times, maybe 4, potentially 5.
I have often used small watercraft like a canoe to get around the swamp. It should not be a problem.
So we're all ignoring the fact that her voice has completely changed. Okay, never mind. Just ignore me. Fine. Everything's weird today, and we'll just ignore everything. And I'm bleeding. And that's fine. Everything is fine. My robes are ruined.
Everything will be fine if you stop talking. To the canoes.
Syndra nods and says,
I will stay behind, I think, and act as a contact within Port Nyanzaru when you return. Should you return. I will try and stay undercover, as far away from these creatures as possible, and learn what I can whilst I'm here. Perhaps with both of us, you in the interior, me here, we can work together, learn more, split the party.
she looks at the camera.
Before we do leave, perhaps a code, so we know just in case. To trust you when we return.
Yes, we need
a safe code. A safe word, if you will. What is the word that we could use? That only we would know.
Who's the creative one of the group?
There is a area of the swamp I am from called the Ofi Finoki. I don't think anyone else would be aware of such a thing. Sorry, inside joke for everyone out there.
I'm dead.
But that way we will always remember it is not something others will likely know. It's an old
Good.
Faubourg term.
Ofi Kanofi it will be.
Close enough.
Ofi 1 Kanofi, yeah. So she nods and says,
If you go just outside of Port Nyanzaru, there are traders there who will allow you to purchase canoes.
Perfect. Then
she nods and says,
Well, we might not see each other for a week or two, so best of luck whilst you're out there. Beware of the dangers of Cholts. Make sure that your guide prepares you well.
she looks at the zero.
We will.
All right, she does a little bow, and as you guys head outside, the servants have cleaned up the bodies for you guys.
Before we head outside, can I insight check that? Look, did she know? I want to know if she knows
All right,
who I am,
roll me an insight check to see if you know that she knows.
or if I know that she knows on a 7.
Nah, you don't know what she knows on it.
That's fair.
While there's much debate on who knows what, and if they actually know it themselves, I'd like to, as she bows and then straightens up, can I pick up a small tiny piece of her face that's fallen off that's on the floor?
Sure.
I'm fascinated by this, and okay, we're this might be my only chance. So he just sort of walks over and then sort of he lets his robes spill over and then just sort of leans down in his robes and manages to reach and pockets it, because I feel like that's something.
Even Syndra is like, you what, bro? She gives you this look like,
I'm sorry, I'm too busy not beheading people and cutting people and nailing people to walls. You freak.
yeah.
Reverie is like, what if that's contagious? No offense. Sorry.
None taken.
I'm sure you're perfectly fine to stand within a decent proximity of, but
The canoes, perhaps.
Perhaps before venturing out, we should take some liberty with our friend Watanga wealth, so that we are well provisioned
That's
on
a good
our
idea.
trip.
yes.
Water, food, wine, gold, a dinosaur. Oh, did he have any dinosaurs?
We're not taking any dinosaurs because you have proven
Most-
that you're not supposed to be around them.
And we are going to miss the races anyway.
Now Fulton goes.
We can delay a week, right? It's only the end. It's only the end of the world.
Yeah, Fulton considers Bartleby's words for a moment and then realizes that yes, it actually is life and death.
Well, literally.
Yes. I suppose we will miss the races. However, if we succeed, there will be races when we get back.
Indeed.
The hope restores.
So with Syndra's help, probably have her guide us to some things that either can be easily sold and not questioned, so that Fulton is going to be, I believe, our most pressing concern will be our health, as it seems that bodies that life leaves them cannot be brought back, or are brought back in a not... He's trying to be very careful of what to say with Syndra right there, kind of rotting in front of us.
She doesn't mind. She's like,
Please, I don't mind. All I want is this curse to be gone.
Basically,
yes.
we don't want to end up looking like that, so...
To put it bluntly, so perhaps health potions would be in order. They can be quite helpful to try to just... My magics can only go so far, especially with the dangers that we are likely to encounter.
Syndra nods, and with her help, you guys will meet with a back alley auctioneer who will sell many of the goods from Wakanga, no questions asked. However, it's going to be at a heavy discount because you're not selling them, up front. So you guys can make about 300 gold from this whole endeavor, shipping those bits out that you think no one will miss, and still leaving the house looking like it's pretty lavish from the outside, at least. Inside looks pretty a bit more stripped down than it did before. And Syndra bows to you all as she bids you farewell and good luck upon your journey with your gold. Once again, reinforcing the message that you should probably make sure that you are well provisioned for your trip. As well as the canoes will probably cost you money as well. So, where do you guys want to head first? You know that south of the city itself, a short distance, there will be the canoe sellers.
Yeah, I think we should just go there since we seem to have what we need.
Well, we've still got to get potions and stuff, but we need to know how much we have left to spend on potions, because we don't want to buy so many potions that then we don't have enough to get the canoes. Yeah. So perhaps we should see what a canoe costs and then return with whatever the difference is, because I believe we all started with a little bit of personal gold, and then we now have this extra 300. So I'm thinking that's probably... Because, we don't want to go on a buying spree and then be like, oh, we got to sell off at a discount because we don't have enough for a canoe anymore.
Right. All right, so you guys head south of the city to the swampy area just outside before it reaches the jungle proper. And you do see that there are these kind of rickety canoes that are strapped up along the side of the river Soshenstar. And there are these traders who seem to be selling them off to other explorers and adventurers who are coming back or also going out on this large river through to the interior of Chult itself. Most of the travelers who are on it look like seasoned explorers and adventurers, much like yourselves. It doesn't look like there's anyone going for a family canoe day out here on this river. And so a trader looks over towards you and says, how many canoes? Where you want to go?
Fulton will look to our guide, our local Chulton, to finesse this.
There, you reckon you can fit 2 to a canoe?
2 to a canoe. Okay. How many are there? Oh god, sudden math. I was not expected to do math today.
It's 4 divided by 2.
There you go. I'll have 2.
Bartleby is 2 feet tall, so I feel like he could probably
just fit in the front.
But the problem is that I probably count as 2 people.
Yeah,
me and Bartleby.
That is still 2 canoes.
Yeah.
That is,
it's probably, me and Bartleby.
Either way you cut it, it's looking like 2 canoes.
We will have 2 canoes.
You sure? You want only 2 canoes?
I am positive.
Not 3 canoes? Not less than 4?
Positively 2.
Okay, each canoe 100 gold, and we take upfront deposit, 70%.
100 gold for canoe.
Where you gonna take it? You know how much these canoes make to cost, and the amount of people that don't come back with their canoes?
I suppose, fair point. Can I insight him to see if we're being scammed by this fine purveyor of canoes?
Yes, this canoeman, if you will.
Would a 2 tell me?
Oh.
No, you do not pass your banjo Kanoe roll.
Could we maybe could it work to like investigate like sort of the canoes and see if we can gauge how much they're worth? Can we do that?
You could. I guess the nearest thing you could do would be to roll an insight check on this guy.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna inside check him.
Okay, can I do that?
Yeah, I think. Did you not just insight check him?
Yeah, you already did. You
I
did the 2.
But I did it again.
I am not counting
can't
that second
re-roll.
roll. Yeah.
I got a 6.
Nice.
If you want to give me advantage, I got a nat 20.
On a 15.
A 15. Bartleby, despite having never been on a canoe before, nor having
Somehow.
never seen them before. Here's the thing. You'd suspect that it's not the workmanship of the canoe that is the big factor here. It's the danger level of, like, sending out a canoe into the unknown where people never come back. So most likely, despite the fact that these are rickety, kind of crappy looking old canoes, the fact that he's probably never going to see you again probably makes that reason why there are so many canoes. Also, there doesn't seem to be much competition in the market right now. So it's like internet companies in America, right? There are like 2 of them, so they charge ridiculous amounts for terrible service.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll start our own canoe company.
Yeah,
and
That's actually the end game.
For like half a second, I believed you 100% now. I was like, okay. Yeah, so Bartleby looks at him and says, look, how about we get down to brass tacks, old man, and, you and me have a serious heart-to-heart. We talk nose to nose, elbow to elbow, you know what I mean. Basically, all I want to know is if we were to sort of shave off, to sort of sway the travel insurance, how much could we get these for?
Well, if you're not traveling with travel insurance, then that makes it even more dangerous, you know? Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh, no.
You're getting stopped at security and being asked what your travel insurance package is like.
A 16. A 16.
16's not bad. Yeah, he eyes you up and down. He's like, well, if you're willing to take some of the older canoes, then I can make sure that the discount is substantial.
Bert just turns around to the party and he's just like, I got this guy. Like, what a mug. And he turns around and he's like, ooh, you do drive a hard bargain, fellow, but gotta respect a man on his craft. Put it there, old chum. And,
could we perhaps see the old canoes?
75 gold! And he shakes Bert's hand.
Oh.
And I start to like hand over the money from the gold we've made, and then like the second he's out of earshot, I turn around and I'm like, this guy doesn't seem to realize it's not like canoes age, they're not people, idiots. And just
they wheel out canoes with like a big hole in it.
He is charging 75 gold a canoe, so that'll be 150 gold deducted from the 300 total.
Not bad.
Not a bad deal after all. And this fine purveyor of canoes, the canoeman, he wheels out from this old shed, this dusty, beaten up looking, very sad, maybe a couple of holes in it, actually, now you look at it, canoe.
Just so you know, this now means we can now afford 5 more bags of magic dino feed. We win.
You're not wrong.
I'm gonna push you into the river.
We're not going to need to. We're going in one way or another.
They float. They do float.
Does Fulton need to do like a survival check to make sure that these actually are, survivable canoes?
Roll me a survival check.
As the cleric of the group, with a 25.
So you're fairly certain that these things would float down a river as long as they didn't meet any kind of real resistance. If you ran into some form of resistance, then you think these things would probably, it's old, like wet, dead wood, really. So you know how like it's much more kind of flexible, flimsy, almost like rotten. So you're pretty sure these things would come apart in a hurry.
So does that mean that the newer ones wouldn't, or are they all like that?
No, the new ones look like they're better built for sure.
All right, okay. So Reverie is gonna go over to the guy, and just be like, I just have a little bit of a concern. I feel like these canoes that you have here seem too easy to break.
Too easy? What do you mean too easy?
She like puts her hand on her sword and like puts the tip of it onto the bottom of the canoe. And she's like, I just feel like this would run through all of them. Can I roll intimidation?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. 16?
Pretty good. So the canoeman says, maybe they're a little bit flimsy, but the discount is good, you know?
I think that maybe you should give us a discount on ones that aren't going to deteriorate the second that we get inside them.
Alright, I'll give you 10% off my good canoe. Because these are very good canoes. 90 gold per canoe, plus the, I'll say goodbye to the waiver fee, which the handshake with him has already costed you 20 gold.
Thank you. Thank you.
Never say that the canoeman, no partner, and Zaru are not fair traders.
I have heard that your purveyor of canoes is always very fair.
Indeed, now if you want our fair trade canoes, and they're very more expensive. But,
Walk past.
So 180 gold for the good rafts.
Okay, yeah.
deal or no deal? Yeah.
Deal.
Yes.
Is that your final answer? Yeah. He shakes your hands, and you have your canoes. And he says, now, would you like some provisions to go along that? Food, water, supplies, anti-venoms, anti-canoes. What do you need?
What do you have?
Pretty much everything I just said.
Yes,
Healing
specifically.
potions.
Healing potions? No. I do have anti-venom.
That would be very useful.
Now, if you want my gluten-free anti-venom, if you want my vegan ones, now.
Yeah, he shows you these anti-venom potions, and he kind of pops out this red vial of liquid, and he shakes it about. He says, 30 gold, cure you of any poisons.
How long do you think this vial will last us? Let's say, well, what's the average rate of getting...
Oh, good 10 minutes. You know, if you're about to go fight some of the, the grung that are out there, they use a poison. Before you go into battle, you pop this baby, and where you go, you know.
How many doses are in the vial? One or
one.
multiple?
One.
Oh, goodness.
This is a good 5-day journey. I do not
But
know.
you want to go die out there to the poison grung? You've seen those things? I see people come back like, you know.
He has a point.
How much?
Well, if you want my
30.
unused anti-venom poison.
He says 30 gold.
So, seeing as this is a very shrewd negotiator, Fulton is going to sort of look to the party and go, we have no need for this. I can protect us from poison with my magics. And basically, I'm doing we're walking away and see if our salesman does this. So, it might be convenient, but for that type of price, there's no reason, as I am able to protect us from poisons with our magic, and it is free.
All right, roll me a deception check.
No, I really can't. I do have protection from
Oh, that's
poison.
true, but you are bluffing the guy there, right?
Yeah.
I am bluffing the guy, though.
Yeah. I would like to, as Fulton does this, I'm going to just really casually poke around in this guy's head. Whoa, that's a lot of text. I do.
Oh, wow.
That is detect thoughts, which is concentration up to 1 minute, and I'm a just like get all up in this guy's surface thoughts.
So he has to roll a wisdom saving throw, yeah?
It's not unless I try and delve deeper.
Okay.
So if I try and go like right into his brain.
His surface thoughts are pretty much like he's trying to rip you guys off right now.
Yeah.
A 5 isn't
Fulton, having been raised in a swamp, is basically doing I can do this magic myself, and see, we don't need this because I can do this casting because I rolled a 5 on my deception.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obviously, Fulton's not a good liar.
All right, you don't want anti-venom, but you will need food and drink. So, for each of you, for parties hold 4 people, 10 gold per day of provisions.
And water, food. You need to drink a lot of water out here.
I was actually under the impression that the guys down the road that have just set up shop were doing it for 5 gold. And I'm going to listen to this guy's thoughts to see if he brings up any competition in town, if anyone he thinks about that...
Yeah, he thinks of the other canoeman who he hates, who lives on the other side of the river.
the other canoeman who lives on the other side of the river. He's just started to sell 5
I hate
gold.
him.
You do?
Trying to steal my canoes and to sell me. All right, 4 gold a day.
Okay, you've got me, fine.
All right. So, how many days of provisions would you guys like to buy here?
All of them.
We said 5-day trip, right?
5-day trip.
Yeah.
So 20. Yes, that's.
Potential 5-day trip.
I'm straight up buying 10.
Okay. So 10 days of
Okay.
provisions for the party would be 40 gold.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yep, so that brings us down to 80 gold pieces.
And
And-
with mine, I'm gonna buy myself an anti-venom potion because
Yeah.
All right, at 30 gold.
Actually, yeah, Fulton basically is going, I'm going to need, I sort of looked at the party and
I
be like,
have magic. I'll buy you 10, please.
I'm going to then realizing that he wasn't taking any of mine. I was like, no, really, we should get some anti-venom because I'm going to need to heal you guys.
Yeah. I think that might be the best idea.
I actually, Fulton looks to Bert with a little bit more respect now that he's negotiated this and I've done so poorly. Can you talk to him about the anti-venoms pricing, my friend?
Would I know?
Little one.
Having lived here, would I know what the price of an antivenom potion should be if it's fair?
It's been a long time since you've been here.
right. Okay. So now
Prices have gone up. The economy's gone down.
Yeah, I mean, inflation's a bitch, it's just been a pain.
There's all these people showing up, going after this relic.
Yeah.
So
Final price this guy is willing to go is 30 gold on it.
Okay, let's get to.
I turn to him and I say, I believe this is there's a voice in his head that's louder than mine that speaks imperiously with silky smooth, deep sort of. He sounds like a D&D sex icon, and he's not having any of it. So 30 gold is what we're going to have to pay, ladies and gentlemen. And he forks over.
All right. So, moving on from this little bartering scene here, you guys heading out straight away on your canoes? He gets your canoes ready, hands you the potions and food.
Health potion.
If we can is health potion something that we can find in town? I mean, I'm just gonna ask you, Will, for timing reasons. Should we head back into town and do that, or is it like we're not gonna go back there and we're just not gonna find them?
You can definitely find healing potions down there. The trade price seems to be about 50 for a pot, but also with haggling, you guys can get it down to 40.
Okay. I'll buy 1 personally with my own money.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy. I'm actually gonna spend all my gold that I have. And I go ahead and get 2 just because I figure I'm going to be the healer of.
Yeah.
I'll take 1 for myself.
Now, I imagine that like going on here probably got like some sort of like a per diem from the guild. I'm gonna use that money.
All right, cool. So, who is going to be lead? Okay, let's first of all, who's on the canoes together?
I think it's got to be me and Bert because I can row and
Dad's working row.
Dazra. Sorry, I was like Kazna. What? Dazra. Dazira can row. So
Okay.
I figure.
So
Yeah.
Fulton and Bartleby and Reverie and Desira together. All right. So who is going to be the lead canoe institution? God damn it.
I'll go.
All right. Desira, roll me a survival check as you guys head out of your canoes across the this big old river, Soshrenstar, heading down to the south into the interior of Cholt.
That's a 20, a nat 20. I'll have you know.
Oh, baby. Very nice. So, your navigation is pretty good as you head down the river. Whilst it is one main river, you'd also realize that it does shoot off at several points into different directions where you could end up getting lost. For the most part, it's a fairly easy job for you because you're following the main tide of the river. you will come across other canoers, adventurers and explorers who are going past either in the same direction as you or coming back. You notice that several of them who are coming back look incredibly pallid and sick and are vomiting over the sides of the boat a lot. And the further you go, over the course of a couple of days of travel, you will see less and less people coming back. You run into less opposition for other travelers going around, and it seems like the further into Cholt, the less people are about in general, and it becomes a much more isolated area in which to be in. On your second day of travel, and by the way, mark off after the first day your 1 day's worth of provisions and travels. Each day whilst you're within Cholt, you'll need to consume about 2 liters of water to stay hydrated. And as a note, Desira would know that your water from the river itself does not look particularly clean, and you'd be a little bit worried about drinking water from unknown sources around here. So clean water is at an all-time high.
Just to be clear, Will, is it that it was 10? We have 10 days of rations for the whole party,
For the
correct?
whole party, yeah.
Okay, so
the party are now down to 9 days.
9 each.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so
I assume we got a long rest in here somehow as well.
Yeah, you guys will get a long rest on your canoes as you're coming through here, for sure. On your second day of travel, you will come across a river canyon. It's a spectacularly high cliffs, which is about 200 feet high, lined with row upon row of coral. The coral itself, where once it would have been a fantastic sight to behold, looks dead and rotting away, unable to sustain any life. And so now its once vibrant colours are dead and no longer rich with any sorts of colour. You look upon these spectacles of Cholt with some wonder as strange creatures fly overhead, and you'll occasionally see the odd dinosaur or other animal which will run across the side of the shore. Mostly not paying much attention to you. You will get some attention from a loud group of flightless birds who appear to be following the party for some day. They give up after the second day of following you alongside the shore, and their seem to die away into the distance as you head into your third day of travel. At which point I'll ask for a second survival check from Desira. Entering into day 3, you guys are down to 8 days of provisions.
I accidentally rolled twice earlier. Can I use the 19 that I got from that?
Sure, why not?
Yay.
These are pretty easy checks for you to make at this point, as you're fairly close to Port Nyanzaru. You notice that you're coming up across an interesting formation of rock. It looks to be blades of black basalt, which are thrust up from the floor of a deep volcanic canyon which you're coming through at the beginning of the third day. It creates a forest of sorts. One which is difficult to navigate with your canoes, where previously you've just been kind of rowing down this whole thing quite easily. As you enter into your third day, these blades of some kind of black rock or metal jutting out and making progress difficult for you all. I'd like you to roll me a perception check, Desira, at this point.
Okie dokie.
The river water underneath seems to grow warmer as well as a bubbling volcanic canyon beneath. Nice. 21. Desira, you note just ahead through some of the waters where it grows shallower on the sides of the shore in this kind of volcanic canyon that you're in. You spot a band of what look to be 4 newt-like humanoids who are armed, and they are about 3 to 4 feet tall. In the shallows, the warm shallows, who seem to be bathing. They are armed with spears, nets, and bows, and they seem to be patrolling the area. You would have to pass by them to continue through this canyon. However, it would be possible using the shards that are jutting out through the ground to attempt to sneak past them, potentially.
But that could damage the canoes.
Correct.
over the shards.
If you were to go by the shores, you would avoid any potential damage to your canoes because the shards aren't sticking up there so much. But that's where the newt-like humanoids are. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'll have my sword drawn and slowly approach them. Not as if I'm about to attack them, but as if I could if they attack me, but slowly approach. Just in case they're not feeling like fighting today.
Okay, so you're coming up in your canoe with...
And I'm going to put my hand out to the canoe behind us to signal to them that there's something ahead.
Okay, so we'll stay back.
All right. So Bartleby and Fulton stay back about 40 feet as Desira and Reverie begin to move towards the Newt people. It seems as though they immediately pay attention to you as soon as you draw up, and they look worried at your weaponry. They begin to talk amongst themselves in a language which even you don't understand, Azira. And it seems as though you've come across their like birthing pools. As looking around in the water, you see these hundreds and thousands of fish-like spawn, which are kind of swimming around in great pools.
I'm going to put my sword away immediately.
Yeah, at this point they look incredibly angered by the fact that you're here, and it's that animal defense which is kicking in, and you hear them, and they are going to rush towards you, and they are adept swimmers as well. So we are going to roll some initiative at this point. Oh yeah.
Ooh, look at that.
20.
Oh, very nice.
That's like 3 for you today.
Damn, I am not having any of these new people today.
Yeah, you are on fire.
They are mad fish.
All right, so let me get my turn order back up again. So Reverie, what did you roll?
17.
Perfect number. What about you, Fulton?
On a 6.
6. All right, Bert.
Oh, sorry. 10.
10. Desira.
Nat 20.
Nice. All right, and I'll roll for these guys real quick. Oh, also worth noting that these guys have a hot red orangey tang to their skin color, which perhaps denotes some form of defense that they have on their skin.
And the water is bubbling and warm, right?
Well, it's bubbling and warm. These guys rolled a 5 on their initiative, so they're pretty slow. Perhaps slowed down by their the pools and not wanting to disturb them too much, crushing anything underfoot. So the turn order will be Desira going first, followed by Reverie, Bert, Fulton, and then the creatures, the newts. So
how many did you say there were?
There are 4 of them.
4 of them, okay. And how far away are they currently? Or are they coming towards us?
They're coming towards you, but they haven't yet actually taken a move action. So they, at this point, are 30 feet away from you in the water. And you are 40 feet away from Fulton and Bartleby, meaning that those two are about 70 feet away. You can move at a rate of 30 feet with your canoe, assuming that the two of you are just, moving along the canoe.
Okay. And how can I see how long the birthing ground looks, or is it kind of stretch out into?
It looks to be several hundred feet wide. It's they have filled it with spawn. When you see fish spawning grounds, they're there's just cloudy kind of fish everywhere.
Okay, so no getting past them. I'm gonna fire my crossbow at the one that's